Hello.
Hello.
We're doing our first talk session.
Yes.
And kind of a reaction, but kind of not.
Yeah.
It's not a reaction because we're not actually playing it while we're talking it.
Yeah. It's like the fact that like the Japanese industry, it's our first Japanese song that we're doing. And the Japanese industry, they're a lot more strict on the copyright stuff than the Korean industry, and so we don't want to get flagged for it. So we're just not gonna like do a full on reaction for it. We're just gonna like talk about
our
it.
impressions of our song.
Yeah.
Okay, the song that we're doing is... Oh, we didn't even introduce ourselves.
Whoops! I'm Judith.
I'm Alyssa, and we are a speechless apple.
Yes, and the song we're doing today is... I actually found it by accident. Like one day I was just looking through my subscriptions, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting, so I clicked on it, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, it's cool. And then I was like, oh, we're doing videos today, so just show it to Alyssa and see what happens. So that's basically what happened. So the song we're doing is this trio called Unist from Avix, and their song is called One Day.
Mm-hmm. It's a largely guitar instrumental track. It really focuses on guitar, even though it has other instruments.
It does.
In the video, all three of them have guitars. So.
All three of them. Acoustic.
Yes, acoustic guitars.
Acoustic guitars.
So the instrumental is a lot more acoustic than it is anything else. Though I do suspect there has been some tampering, but of course it's music.
There's some like electric guitar in there.
It's just really low.
Yeah.
And it's more for filling things in than for actually being part of the song.
Mm-hmm. So basic rundown of the video is, you're gonna have to help me out on this because so basically there's a boxer. Luchador. Okay.
Masked fighter.
Okay, so there's this masked fighter, and he's like fighting this other masked fighter, and then like there's this little boy. I'm thinking the little boy is like when he was little.
Either him when he was little, or
like a fan,
or his son. It's like it's the little boy represents like the hope in the song.
Yeah,
the hope. Like, what his original dreams used to have been. Like, it doesn't really matter what he is exactly to the guy. It's the fact that it's what he represents.
Yeah, because, like, you see throughout the video, it's, like, the masked fighter, he's, like, fighting this other dude, and then, like, halfway through the video, this other guy comes in, and he pays him money.
He pays him to throw the fight.
Yeah, he pays him to throw the fight, basically, and so, like, that's not who he is, and so then, like, I think, like, the little boy, like, represents, like,
his child dreams being like broken and disappointed, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's a part where like it says "baka" on the little notebook. Yeah. It says "baka."
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't read Japanese. So.
I need to teach you the words, like certain words, so that you'll know.
Yeah.
But it says "baka," and it like he realizes that this is not what he wants.
He's like, stupid. That's not what you started doing this for.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, and so he like throws away the chains.
There was a waist mask.
The chains are in the mask. It's really something because the mask is like something that is not in the chains. It's like what's binding him, what's holding him back from his dreams. I feel like it's a very symbolic music video.
Very symbolic,
and it's not like super like, oh my god, there's symbolism in the fact that there's this ring there. No, it's like there's chains. That's pretty obvious. Chains represent bondage and like being held back.
Yes.
The mask represents the fact that you are hiding your true self. Yeah. These are obvious things. Do not read into every little thing because sometimes a pencil is just a freaking pencil.
Yeah, that reminds me of like my friend. She was on Facebook and she was saying how in her English class, they were reading this book and the author of the book came to visit a class. And so like they were like talking the book and then like her professor started saying, oh, like the curtains in this book are blue because of blah, 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 blah. And the author was sitting to the side and started giggling in the corner. She started giggling in the corner, apparently. And so apparently the curtains were just blue because they're just freaking blue.
Just decide on a random color. Hey, I like blue. Let's do it.
It's just freaking blue. That's why.
Please, people, remember, not everything has symbolism. Don't listen to everything your teachers have to say because sometimes it'll mislead you.
Seriously. Unless you're reading like Toni Morrison, then it probably does.
Yeah, and so Toni Morrison, pretty much everything.
Unless you're reading Toni Morrison, then it probably does. Like even the language structure and how like the chapter is made has symbolism in it. So yeah, okay. Other than that, but yeah,
the song itself, I like the vocals. One thing I like most is the voices blend and clash at the same time.
They do.
like, they blend together so they sound unison, but at the same time, you can pick out who is singing what part.
That's what I actually like about Japanese groups, because in a lot of Japanese groups, I can pick out who's the singer or like whatever.
But,
like it's like for rock groups, I can tell who's singing like based on the style of the song and who's singing. I'd be like, oh, that's our own group. Like if you have an Uberworld song playing, I'd be like, oh, that's Takia and that's Uberworld. Or like you have like a Nightmare Gazette song going, I'd be like, oh, that's Gazette or like whoever. But I can't do that in K-pop.
You can't.
I really can't. And then like when I'm listening to like Katin and Arashi, I'll be like, oh, Aiba from Arashi singing that part. Or I'll be listening to Katin's song and be like, oh, Kame singing that. Or Juno's Takuchi singing that. Or Uda's definitely singing that high note right there. Or like whatever. I can do that. Even like, you'll see in one of our other reaction videos, like, we have one for Global Icon that's... We did a reaction for Global Icon, and then we were saying how, like, all the auto-tuned voices sound the same. But then it's like when, in one of Katin's song, like, they have a lot of, like, actually, they do have a good amount of auto-tuned songs. Like, there's one called D-Motion, which they actually performed on M Countdown. Was it M Countdown?
Was it M?
I think it was M Countdown. They performed it.
That's a Korean...
Yeah.
They performed it on M Countdown?
Yeah, they performed it on either M Countdown or Music Bank or something. They performed D-Motion on M Countdown, whatever. Because it was during their No More Pain Asia tour. Oh, okay. And so when they stopped in Korea, they did a live for M Countdown or whichever show it was.
And brought down the house.
And they did D-Motion. And then they have another song called Right Now, which is like, both songs are heavily auto-tuned. But the thing is, with those two songs, you can still tell who's singing.
Yeah, who's singing what.
It's like, it's not so auto-tuned. Like, their voices are so distinct that even you auto-tune their voices to a point, like, you could possibly make them sound the same. But, like, they make it so, like, you can tell who's singing what part and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
and we didn't get that from Global Icon.
Yeah.
And then with One Day, they didn't have it at all.
Yeah. Like, One Day is like, when it's like each individual person, you can tell they had their own voices, but when it came to singing unison, it was like, very harmonized.
It was harmonized, and at the same time, you could still point and say, this person has the high voice, this person has the low voice, this person's in the middle.
Yes.
You know it. It's like all the voices blend together.
Or if they're singing in a unit, or if they're singing a unison part, you can tell that all three is singing it.
Yeah.
And not just like one person.
Yeah.
And yes, K-pop groups, I'm looking at you who say that you have a unison part.
And you're not singing unison.
And that's only one person singing.
Sweet. It's like, I'm a singer. I've sung in choirs. I know what sing-sound lights. So when I know what a unison sounds like.
Yeah, and a unison part does not include one person singing and everybody harmonizing to that one person. That is not a unison part either.
Is something totally different. Unison is when all the voices come together and blend and form a nice chord.
Yes. I get so annoyed when K-popers are like,
the unison. It's not a unison, you guys.
I was like, our song is marked by the unison part at the chorus. I'm like, there's not a unison part.
This is one person singing and everybody else harmonizing.
Yeah, and
even one melody line and then everybody's harmonizing.
And even in like the line, you can tell only one person singing that part.
Yep.
I'm just like, no, you can just get like slap from me when I see you. If I ever see you, I'm gonna just like slap you. Yeah. No.
So like, please. There's, like, most of your fans don't know, I'm going to say this, most fans don't know enough about music to know this, but don't say this because there are fans who do have some knowledge of music.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
all of us aren't idiots. Just saying.
And the other fans, you guys aren't idiots, it's just like,
know yourself before you say anything.
Know it.
Know yourself before you say anything.
Yeah. It says a unison and harmonization are two totally different things in music. Yes, like, you will hear it. You can hear it. When somebody plays unison versus somebody plays harmonized on a piano, they sound different.
Yeah, that's why I really like Infinite, because Infinite actually gets it right. Mm-hmm. Infinite actually gets it right. They
actually do.
Because they're like, oh yeah, our team is marked by their unison parts. Because not a lot of K-pop groups do the unison parts. And so then they're like, oh, we're known for our unison parts. I'm like, thank you, Infinite, for getting it right.
Yes. They actually do unison.
Yes. They actually do unison.
Thank you to this song by Unist. And they have a wonderful unison parts.
I know. They do.
It was beautiful.
I really liked the song.
Yeah.
I I'm probably gonna go look up more stuff from them.
Yeah, they seem worth it.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Avex has a lot of those like what Korea would call like indie groups.
I think anything that's not pop in Korea is indie.
Yeah. While
in America, anything indie is truly indie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that song from the beginning of Juno. Have you seen the movie Juno? With Ellen Page.
I've seen Juno. I'm sorry.
Have you seen Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist?
No.
Oh. Well, a lot of the songs from there.
I meant to see Juno, but I never saw it.
Yeah, but a lot of songs from there are indie songs. Those are considered real indie songs. While here hip hop is hip hop. It's not indie.
Yeah.
Rock is rock. It's not indie. Then there's
even
different genres.
Rock. Yeah.
There's different genres of rock. There's pop rock. There's alternative. There's metal. There's
electronic rock.
There's in everything. There's a bunch of genres. And guess what? They're not indie.
They're not indie.
They're not indie. Please.
No.
I don't know. I guess it's taken on a different meaning in Korea, but please, like, if you're promoting it to international fans, it'll cause a lot of confusion, especially for us American fans, because we have different definition. Because when they say, "Oh, it's indie," and it comes out and it's a rock song, and I'm like, "This ain't indie." Indie, and I hear like hip hop, and I'm like, "This is like the farthest."
It's like they say like MFBTY is like indie, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
No, they're like,
what? And they're like Jagger JK is indie. I'm like, what?
No, he's hip hop. He's rap.
I'm like, yeah. And then they say, who else? They say Classic Quiet is indie too.
Classic Quiet.
We say Classic Quiet is indie, and they also say, that one group that's from Infinite's company.
What?
That rock group. I totally.
Nell?
Yeah, they say Nell's an indie group too.
No. Classically, I can understand why they would consider them indie, because they do have a lot of really indie songs.
Yeah, they have a lot of indie styles.
But honestly, they're pop.
Yeah, and then like a lot of overseas fans consider Nell as indie, so I'm just like, I'm confused about like the indie genre
in K-pop.
Yeah, so
indie is kind of,
I don't know. This is turning into like an indie conversation, but yeah. So yeah, we're probably just gonna like look up some more stuff on Unist. They seem interesting.
Hopefully we'll find some interesting stuff, and we'll
Avex,
tell you about
it. Like Avex has a lot of interesting
They have a lot
artists
of like interesting little gems.
aren't big artists at all. Like Miura Daichi, he just finished his first Budokan concert,
and he's been out for so long.
I know.
I love Miura Daichi.
Miura Daichi's so awesome. He's
Such
like
a beautiful voice.
He's like a boa, a male boa.
A male boa.
A male boa. If you all don't know Miura Daichi, go watch him. He's like a male boa.
Now.
If you're not that, if you don't want to watch him for him, you could watch his duet video that he did with Boa called Possibilities. That's a wonderful song. I like Possibilities. It's such a good song.
When I heard that they did a song together, I was like,
they need to do another one.
They need to do like 8 more.
8 more.
Yeah.
So yeah. So check out One Day. No, not One Day. Unist.
Check out Unist.
Unist is One Day. And you can check out Miura Daichi.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do a video on him because we like him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like him a lot. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.